Good afternoon, everybody. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. On that, every individual at WYDOT has the potential to impact morale, good or bad. We're here to make everyone aware of this and how they can impact the agency. Believing in yourself as a leader will make you just more confident in everything you do and your team, helping your team. Team CIS Morale, that's our name. I've heard that giving a presentation is one of people's biggest fears. The only thing scarier is checking your inbox after a week of vacation. So let's meet the team. We got Riley, Coulter, Jordan, myself, Rob, and Tim. So we were assigned to work on research, to do some research for morale for the agency. So we'll start off by what is morale? Okay, so it's the overall mood, attitude, confidence, satisfaction, and outlook of employees within the organization. It's a collective measure of how people feel about their job, their colleagues, and the company they work for. High morale often leads to increased productivity, better teamwork, and better employee retention. At work, high morale employees feel motivated, valued, positive about their tasks and their teams, so they become more productive. Why it matters. Good morale fuels effort, cooperation, creativity, and presentation. Low morale drains motivation and leads to losing good people. Building a positive and motivated workplace. Common ways that different organizations and agencies use to build morale, WYDOT currently does have the four most widely used. So recognition, it varies. The Wyoming Highway Patrol kind of has their own whole different thing, but WYDOT has the PMI, journal entries, call outs in the team, crew meetings, the Traveling Bison, Bridger Award, health and wellness. WYDOT has the wellness program where if you exercise for 13 hours, 780 minutes per month for 6 consecutive months, you get 4 hours of comp time, which is a half a day off that you just get as an added bonus. We also have the Employee Assistance Program, the EAP, the Hinge Health, and then team building. The WTDA program does different functions. The districts are doing barbecues, team and crew functions to help build the bond and improve morale. Work flexibility. Most departments and programs have flexible schedules as well as numerous employee development opportunities through WYDOT University. On that, Rob will talk about how you measure morale. And here's Rob.
Okay, thank you, Barry. So how to measure morale? Morale is a difficult concept to measure because it's subjective and intangible. While you can use some qualitative data as indicators, the actual why behind an employee's satisfaction is deeply personal. However, one of the most commonly tools used to measure morale is through an employee satisfaction survey. So in researching various surveys throughout the nation, particularly government surveys, one of the largest ones we found was the Office of Personnel Management Federal Employee Viewpoint Survey. The global satisfaction score comparisons are in 4 primary parts, and that is through their job satisfaction, through pay, organizational satisfaction, and if they recommend their organization as a good place to work. Kind of want to hone in on that particular question because not only is it a great indicator if the employee feels like they're happy, they would be willing to say to their friends and family, this is a great organization to work for, but it's one of the most commonly used questions in employee satisfaction surveys. Matter of fact, WYDOT has that exact same question in our YDOT Employee Satisfaction Survey. The question goes, would you recommend YDOT as a good place to work? And these are the percentages of those who chose agree. It's a biannual survey, and later on this year, we're going to have the next iteration come out. But what you can see here is the past 5 iterations of that survey for that question. From 2015 to 2021, you see there's been a significant decline on employees that would say that YDOT is a great place to work. However, between 2019 and 2021, there's a significant drop. That's obviously because of COVID. But as you can see in 2023, we started ticking back up again. And hopefully we'll see that trending forward for the next iteration. So how does YDOT compare to other government agencies that ask that same question on their employee surveys, if they would recommend their place as a good place to work? So as previously mentioned, the OMP survey in 2023, they're at 67%, National Federal Survey. The state of Colorado in 2024 had a survey of their state employees, and they're at 65%. Earlier this year, the state of Wyoming, through ANI, conducted a survey. Some of you might have taken that. And 59% is a combination of those that selected they were extremely likely or they were likely to say the state of Wyoming is a good place to work. 2023, there's YDOT there at 55%, our last iteration. And we found Washington State Office of Financial Management, they had an employee survey in 2024, and they were at 63%. So as you can see, YDOT averages is slightly lower than other agencies at this time. So despite numerous supporting initiatives currently in place that Barry kind of alluded to throughout the state as well as YDOT through our Wyoming Transportation Department Employees Association program, you can see that consistently it's been steadily declining. So to get a better understanding on why employees are not utilizing these resources, our team initiated a series of employee interviews. So the CSI team members conducted employee interviews, and we had focus groups of over 30 employees throughout YDOT, and that was at headquarters and through the districts, asking employees various questions related to morale in their areas. The most common themes across those responses were management and leadership practices. Employees want to feel like they're being supported in their professional growth and development. Setting positive examples. That's just not from the upper tier leadership. That's all the way down to first line supervisors. We want to see positive examples throughout the workforce. And of course, all employees like to have recognition, and they want to feel like they're being treated fairly. Interpersonal and team dynamics. Now, as mentioned, like from an agency-wide perspective, like through the WTDA, those participation rates might be a little low when you're talking about like the Christmas parties, the baseball games, chili kickoffs, those kind of things. But what we found through the interviews is that amongst their small teams themselves and the work groups, the participation is actually pretty high and morale is good within the small areas. Matter of fact, we had a gentleman saying that even though he travels for work with his crew every week, on the weekends, they'll still get together and go camping, they'll have hunting excursions together. And again, that was like throughout all the various assessments we had, people had that same theme. Respect and accountability, employees were saying that they like to have that respect and accountability not only from their supervisor to their subordinate, but also vice versa in that circle, right? And from peer to peer. Communication and transparency. Obviously, employees like to have clear expectations and transparency, and employees want to feel like they feel valued and respected within the larger agency structure. So taking all this in consideration, we came up with the following problem statement. So every YDOT employee has the ability to improve the morale of those around them, and a program focusing on leveraging the agency's positive influencers rather than just focusing on the unreachable employees could help influence others. With greater morale, the agency can better attract and retain quality employees, furthering our mission to provide a safe and effective transportation system. To build upon this, Jordan is up next to cover our solution.
Hi everyone, I'm Jordan. So as Rob and Barry kind of illustrated, we're already doing a lot to build morale within the agency. A lot of the best practices are already in place in YDOT. And we've also heard from our employees through these interviews that there isn't really a lot of bandwidth to take on more, both personally and professionally. There's just not a lot of time or necessarily even willingness to necessarily go above and beyond in additional programs, additional time spent. So that being said, we also agree that there's room for improvement. We should at least get up to comparable to other states or other agencies like in the graphs that Rob showed. So how do we amplify those pockets of positivity without burdening our employees with more to do? We actually thought a lot about it. Ignoring pay, we came up with an idea that we thought would be reachable, easy to implement, low cost, and still meets the goals that we have of improving morale in the agency. And we took a little inspiration from Director Westby, calling them the brand builders. We see this as a voluntary, high visibility positivity campaign that is highlighting all the people in the agency that are already doing the work of making Wyandotte a better place to work around their silos and around the people they work with every day. I'm sure you can all think of someone that you work with on a day-to-day business, that you look forward to having meetings with them, you know that they're reliable with the work that they're doing, and you know that they are helping to make Wyandotte a good agency both publicly and internally. You see, we created this kind of mock brand using our Wyandotte triangle, and then also these three kind of key values down here that we identified through all of our research. We think that a lot of it comes down to attitude individually, as well as holistically, as well as accountability, which kind of also plays into that idea of that reliability, as well as even some of the attitude. You know, are you being accountable for what you're bringing to the table in this work environment? And then lastly, action, which again ties into, what are you doing to make Wyandotte a better place to work? What are we doing collectively as employees to make Wyandotte a good place to work? Or are we relying on upper level leadership to do that for us? We see this as low commitment, a light pledge to some of these values that we've been listing, and minimal additional time unless you want it. We see this as highly visible with this branding all over the place so that you can really see the impact on the agency as it grows. We also see the folks that are in the brand builders as a friendly face for people to go to when they need something, whether that's professional help, networking help, or social through WTDA and some of those other groups. It's really ultimately a way to vocally pledge that you're going to do your part in this grand scheme of morale. So where did this idea come from? Cheyenne Frontier Days. So Cheyenne Frontier Days has a campaign called the Yellow Feather Pickup Man campaign. They're kind of used interchangeably. I think formally it is the Pickup Man campaign. And it is a highly visible campaign aimed at mental health for the agricultural community, rodeo community. These feathers are highly visible, and there are a lot of them, and they're all over the cowboy hats. And even from the nosebleeds of Frontier Days, you can see all the little yellow dots on people's hats as they go about the rodeo. While we don't see our program being solely focused on mental health, while there's obviously rooms for partnerships there, we took a lot of inspiration from the program, especially three key factors of the program. One, the easy identifiable brand of the yellow feather. It's bright, it's visible. Like I said, you can be in the nosebleeds of Frontier Days and see them popping around on their hats. And that makes people ask questions. Where did all these yellow feathers come from? Why do all these people have yellow feathers? How do I get a yellow feather? And then even with the people who aren't cowboy hat wearers, there are stickers, there are posters, you even see them at Wyandotte all over the place. And it's a great way to spread the message, low cost, and without asking a lot of people. They can put it on their desk, they can put it on their hard hat. It's an easy way to just show that you're committed to enjoying working here. It's also a positive message. It's kind of hard to say that you don't like this message. And if you do, you're probably not a good fit for the program anyway. Same with the yellow feather. If you say you're not interested in mental health and supporting people in suicide awareness, there's probably other issues, but we'll just say you're not a good fit for the program. So we kind of have a same thing where our positive message is going to be easy to get behind. It's going to be hard to say that you don't want to enjoy working at Wyandotte, and then maybe if you do think that, maybe you should look elsewhere. So lastly, variable levels of involvement. There's some people that have yellow feathers, and that's all they do. That's their involvement with the program. They agree with it, they visualize it, but they don't do anything else. And then you have some people who are out there fundraising, hosting speeches at schools. This is their level of involve, or this is their area where they want to be involved with their time outside of work. And that's great. We'd love that. But we don't have that expectation on people. It's really up to how passionate people are about our message and our story. So now that we kind of understand the program initially, Riley's going to take us through why we think this will work and why we think it'll be different than things we've tried in the past.
All right, thank you, Jordan. Anyway, first thing, like we said, the time commitment can be flexible. So one thing we did learn from our focus groups was that WTDA membership and participation was down, and mostly people thought that was because of busy schedules, you know, and they just don't have a whole lot of time to participate in things like that outside of working hours. They're more than happy to and enjoy having activities with their immediate team members, you know, during work hours. But stuff outside of work is just kind of out of the realm of possibility for some people. So our idea, what we like about our idea is it allows people to participate as much as they want. Someone who volunteers to be a brand builder can, you know, spend time socially to get to know maybe a new employee outside of work, but if they don't want to spend any time outside of work doing anything like that, that's fine too. They can still be part of the program. The second reason why we think this can be successful is because I think we are reaching our target audience. So when we were conducting our research, we also, we found that YDOT already has so many programs in place that, you know, Rob touched on and Barry touched on. You know, we got EAP, we got WTDA, we got employee recognition stuff, we got career development opportunities. So our next question was, you know, like, what's the problem? Do people not know about all this stuff? Is apathy an issue? And coupled with that and some of advice we've gotten from our mentors, we kind of came to the conclusion that some employees, unfortunately, are unreachable. But just because that's not necessarily negative, that's just sometimes what people want out of work. They just want a paycheck out of work. They want to go home. They want to spend time with their families. They're not looking to be engaged. They're not looking to be engaged in any other capacity at work. And that's fine. You know, that's what some people want out of their job. On the other end, we might have employees who are really engaged at work. They join all the programs. They volunteer for all the programs. They build close relationships with their coworkers, where they might even hang out outside of work. You know, that's kind of on the other end. But what we have in the middle, I guess, are people, possibly new employees, who aren't entirely aware of all the programs YDOT has, maybe just not sure how to get plugged in, how to get involved. And this area, I think, is where we have the most potential to reach people, to grow the morale of YDOT, because these people are receptive to change, and they're looking for it. We just need to find a way to reach them. We also believe brand builders can be successful because we are meeting our coworkers halfway, or at least we're doing everything we can to meet them halfway. We've talked also about how an individual's morale, some of the responsibility of that does fall on the individual, whether they're aware of that or not, whether they like it or not. They have to take the first step forward. We're helping them do that in every possible way that we can. And so the first way we're doing that is we're hoping Brand Builders becomes a network of employees that is big enough where we have a large, diverse group of people who have multiple areas of expertise. So if there is anyone who wants assistance at work, whether it's maybe a technical part of their job, maybe they're having trouble with another employee, maybe they're just looking for someone to go to a WTDA social event with. Our goal is to have a network of people with different backgrounds and different skills and different talents who can help out in many different ways. And one of the reasons that we think this can be more successful than other past programs that have been tried, where maybe a new employee is paired up with an experienced employee, and it's just kind of a one-on-one thing. This is able to take on so many more roles than just a single a single mentor or employee partner, can help you with. So it's meant to be a wide network of many diverse backgrounds that can help out in many different ways. And the other part of that is we're also hoping that brand builders can become a big enough group where anyone who is looking for help at work can see, our logo on hopefully someone they find familiar and comfortable with, and maybe someone they work closely with. But that's the goal, is to get the logo out, spread it out as far as possible, where we have somebody in brand builders that anyone who is looking for help at work can go to somebody that they feel comfortable with, and they're less apprehensive to hold their concerns in when they see a friendly face wearing the logo. So, but that is it for me, and I'm going to turn it over to Tim here. He's going to talk about implementation of the program.
So, thanks, Riley. Okay, well, we've established the what and the why. Now let's dive into the how. I guess our goal is to implement brand builders with minimal effort, maximum visibility, and tangible results. This program is designed to be lightweight, impactful, and easy to sustain across the organization. The initial launch is about creating an undeniable positive presence for brand builders to generate interest and engagement. We'll design vibrant, eye-catching stickers and posters to brand the Brand Builders program. I guess the stickers can be placed on your hard hat, on your toolbox, at your desk, wherever you work. I guess the materials will be clearly identified brand builders in their respective office, making them visible ambassadors of positivity. The branding will incorporate bold, fun colors and inclusive messaging to attract attention and foster a sense of unity. The materials will be distributed across physical spaces such as offices and break rooms, in addition to digital places, the intranet, emails. The program will also be highlighted in the interchange. We will also have a voluntary, concise brand builders morale pledge, and I guess we'll have that for the employees to sign. It's a symbolic commitment to fostering a positive, respectful, and optimistic work environment. The pledge will be non-punitive and framed as a personal promise to contribute to a better workplace culture. It can be displayed in your office or whatever to also reinforce that commitment. I guess like Jordan said, Brand Builders will be a low-key program. There'll be minimal check-ins and meetings, and I guess participants can be as involved as they want or not as involved as they want, whatever works for them. A multi-channel campaign will spread the word about brand builders, including, I guess, internal newsletters, emails, and at all hands meetings. We'll have a short video featuring employees discussing what positivity means to them, which will be shared to kick off the program and build interest. To ensure success, we'll start small and scale strategically. Brand builders will pilot in 2 locations. We're looking at headquarters and District 4. We anticipate there'll be strong participation in those 2 locations. This will be a controlled rollout, allowing us to refine the process, deliver tailored training, and gather actionable feedback from before expanding statewide. During the pilot, we'll monitor engagement levels and adjust materials and processes based on input from the participants. We're looking for a target to go live date for District 4 and headquarters in the fall of 2026. The phases will include finalizing the brand, the pledge, and other materials. We're going for a soft launch in the spring of 26 to advertise the program, followed by presenting brand builders to the program managers. A hard launch will be in the fall of 26. A detailed rollout plan will ensure all stakeholders are aligned with checkpoints at the 2, 4, and 6 month points to track progress and address any challenges. And I guess with that, Coulter's up now. He'll explain the next steps in the program and how we measure success.
Thank you, Tim. All right, so Tim laid down the foundation and the timeline. Now I'm going to discuss the most critical issues for the Brand Builders program. manager buy-in, and long-term sustainability. Manager engagement and support is going to be the biggest part with getting them on board. Their buy-in is absolutely critical. We will need to clearly define the role for them. This role is a cultural supportive activity that is time neutral. Managers are not taking on HR duties. Instead, they're only acting as internal connectors for the brand builder mission. We will hold brief training sessions for program managers to ensure they understand the values, support the time commitment, and know how to partner with their brand builders, as well as recommending new brand builders. Sustain momentum. To keep the brand builders alive, we will plan quarterly check-ins with the managers and to gather feedback and share their best practices. Continuous light advertising will keep the program visible. A great example of this would be a monthly brand builder spotlight in the interchange. So in measuring success, how do we know that brand builders program is working and doing well? Excuse me. We won't track specific interactions, as that would violate the spirit of the program. Instead, we'll look at macro level change. Qualitative feedback, gathering evidence and personal stories from employees with positive interactions and cultural shifts directly attributed to the brand builders. With the employee satisfaction survey, it's going to be our ultimate metric. We aim to achieve a favorable response rate back to the 60% or higher in the subsequent survey for the I would recommend YDOT question, directly attributing the shift to the positive model that the Brand Builders program embodies. The Brand Builders program is a scalable, sustainable, and focused on nurturing the positive attitudes we already have. With this comprehensive plan, we can launch a tested, impactful program in the spring of 2026. So we have covered a lot today, from the real state of employee morale to our proposed solution. So to bring this all together, Barry introduced the team, defined morale for us, and gave us some background on morale. We then heard from Rob that while morale is not at rock bottom, it could be better, and that busy lives and attitudes are major income factors. Jordan and Riley then introduced our Brand Builders program, a low commitment, high visibility effort designed to spotlight the positivity that already exists within YDOT. And finally, Tim outlined our straightforward next steps for getting this program off the ground and running by the spring of 2026. From a simple pledge to targeting areas like headquarters and District 4 first. And then I wrapped everything up with getting program manager buy-in and support, as well as how we can measure success. So let's be clear about what this is and what it is not. This is not chasing those employees who don't want to be engaged. However, it's about empowering the employees who are already engaged to make a visible and powerful difference. Because at the end of the day, elevating the employees who enjoy working here is a better use of our time and energy rather than struggling with employees who will never be happy. Earlier, we heard the words, "You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think." Our Brand Builders program is built on that idea. It's about recognizing the bravery, the strength, and the intelligence that already exists right here in our halls and on our roads. We can't force morale, but we can celebrate it. Remember when Jordan discussed the Yellow Feather campaign, a small symbol of support that makes a huge difference? Well, this program is our Yellow Feather. It is a simple, visible reminder that we are here for each other and the journey starts now. This program is built on the values that define us, the same values that drive our mission to support Wyoming communities. This isn't just a program, it's a pledge to ourselves and to each other. It doesn't take a grand gesture, it takes a small action. And with that in mind, we would like to open the floor to your questions.